How's it going? Welcome to Good Company and welcome back to the Gigafactory. Today we are making the component workshop and this is a game changer. This makes things so much easier in the future, and to be honest, I wish I did it sooner. So this basically is going to be where all of our components are made, and then we are going to send out the components from this room to the different areas that need them, just so it's like a central location where we can just pick up all the components that we need when we need them. So I'm just trying to figure out which components I actually need. So I'm putting down a table for each one, and then what I do is actually go straight for the highest tier table that can make it, because I didn't want to waste any time. Wanted to get the production of these up pretty much straight away, because we are going to be needing a lot of components all around the factory. So we're going for top tier tables, and I think we go for 6 tables for each one, and it is a little bit of a squeeze because it's not the biggest room in the factory. However, I chose this room because it is in a more central location and I wanted it to be easily accessible by each of the other rooms. So that's why we went for this room. We are going to be using machines in the future as well, and in the full game compared to the early access, the machines make way more modules and components, so we can actually use less machines to make more stuff, and that's going to help with space saving as well. So literally just going for a standard design here, 6 tables in a sort of W shape. I realise I use this a lot around the factory with a corner shelf, and that's because it's just so efficient. The workers don't have to move when they pick up stuff from the shelf, and it just makes things so much easier when workers don't have to walk around, because workers walking around kills production a lot. So the less walking you can get, the better, and what's better than no walking at all? So we just made the compound sundries, I think we made the wooden sundries, and then we made the plastic sundries as well up there on those. I can't remember what they are. Are they mechanics? No, they're not mechanics bench. I don't know what they're called. What are they called? Precision workbench. There we go. We also made the refined wood as well. Moving on to the bottom half of the building, we actually do make the integrated circuits down here, and I said this in the last episode, and I think I've said it in the last 2 episodes. The integrated circuits are a nightmare to make because you just need so many of them, and we've got 6 of the advanced electronics workbench, which is the best table you can make them on, and it is nowhere near enough, even with the other production of the integrated circuits in the other part of the factory. So we're going to be using machines pretty much when we unlock them to make these integrated circuits, because really we need to. There's no real way of doing it unless you have like a billion tables. I think that's the only way you could get it to work, is if you have like a billion tables making them. So the other things we are making are the multi-layer PCBs, the energy cells, I think they're called, the the chemical compound, and the coated glass. It took me a little bit of rejigging just to get all the tables in, but we do manage to get them in eventually. Did have to use less tables for those to fit them in, because that half of the building is much smaller than the top half. Just sorting out the courier pallets for the components. This is where we're going to be picking up all the components to send out to the other buildings, and I'm trying to put 2 components on each of the pallets. However, I forget you actually have to bring material over to this room because it doesn't have a delivery area, so we do actually end up bringing material over via couriers. What am I doing now? I think I'm just looking at policies to try and make the component making a little bit faster. However, we just do the standard work zone policies. I think we did the faster walking one, the faster picking up from the shelf, and then the faster component making one. So yeah, here is the courier route for the material we are bringing over. Well, we're bringing over everything. Metal, plastic and glass is going onto one pallet, and then chemicals, electronic parts and wood is going onto another. And this is where I also decided I need to sort out the material delivery around the factory, because at the moment we've only got this small area here at the back of the power plant, and it's not ideal because it's just messy. We've got material coming in all over the place, and I decided at that point to actually just have one location where we can buy in materials and then use couriers to send them to buildings without delivery areas. If a building does have a delivery area, then we will obviously buy in material in that room because that saves on a courier route. But for the rooms without delivery areas, we can have a central location to buy in the material and then bring them over. I do bring over the circuit boards and plastic parts into the main component room, and I use a courier route for this, but in the end I do actually turn it into a conveyor belt because I just wanted to use more conveyor belts really, and it works out really well. I am debating whether or not to swap some room, that room around basically. So where the circuit boards and the plastic parts are being made, I'm wondering if I should put integrated circuit machines in there and then have the plastic parts and the circuit boards in the main area, just because, like I said before, you need like 1 billion tables and 1 million machines to make enough integrated circuits. So it's just going to give us a little bit more space if we do that. I haven't done it yet, but I'm still to be honest, I'm still debating it. So we are now sorting out our courier routes for where we need to send the components around. This is just showing you like how easy it is now. So I'm just going around to every room, seeing what components are required in each one, and then just setting up a courier route. So we are actually doing one courier route for each room. So if a room requires, say, like plastic parts and the refined wood, then both of those will go onto one courier route. I thought that was going to be the best way of doing it, because you could do one component and then have a courier route visiting every room that needs it. However, I feel like the courier route, the workers are just going to take 10 years to get around the whole thing, and it's just going to make things run out. I really don't know. So I think we're going to go for this way to start with, see how it goes, and hopefully it works out. So yeah, this is just me setting up the courier routes. I do decide as well at this point. I remember when I was playing this, I was like, I'm getting confused here. All of my courier routes are named route. So I need to actually go in there and rename them and get way more organized than what I actually am at the moment. And I do that off camera because it takes a lot of work, and I try to come up with a naming convention and just make things easy to look at and easy to understand. So I do that off camera, so you'll see the results of that next episode, but you don't want to watch me type in for 10 minutes. It's just gonna be so boring. So here is our component making workshop. Like I said, absolute game changer, makes it so much easier in the future. So thank you for watching. Thank you to the workforce. Stay safe, have fun. I'll see you on the next one.